Welcome to Ask When, everyone. Today I have Lisa with me, and I'm going to let Lisa take it away and explain more about what she does. And yeah, let Lisa take it away and explain more about what she does. So, welcome, Lisa.
Hi, Win. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. This is an honor, and I'm really excited for this conversation. So, I am a business strategist and money coach. I have been working in finance and helping people with their money since I got my MBA back in the early 90s. I have a passion around money, mostly because I came from nothing. Money was a big struggle when I was growing up. It made me early in life make a decision that I later regretted. I want to be clear, but it was like if I have a lot of money, then I'll be happy and I'll be free from suffering. And I pursued my career and success very, at times even ruthlessly. I thought that that was the only way to succeed in life. And over the course of the past, 30 years, I had several tragedies occur in my life that woke me up to my true nature as opposed to this idea of someone who was coming from nothing, who was suffering from lack and scarcity thoughts all the time, which is what I had been exposed to early in life. It had been conditioned into me. My mom had it, my dad had it, maybe not as bad as my mom. And when my father was brutally murdered in 1999, I just broke open, and it caused me to see that the path I was on was destroying me and I needed to do something different. And I found meditation, thankfully, 21 years ago. And that began the shift. But I want to be clear, it didn't happen overnight. I had a lot of baggage that I needed to drop along the way, along the pathway, so that I could lighten my load and become the person that I really want to be. And now I teach people who have understanding of what I'm kind of talking about, who know this feeling of scarcity, whether they have money or not, they still feel like they can't drop that baggage. I help them. And many times they're business owners and they know that if they could drop that story of lack and limitation, that their business would be so much more successful. And I have incorporated that sort of mindset work also into traditional business and money, teaching people about how to be better with both.
Yes. Now, I will admit, I was terrible, terrible, terrible with money up until um 2020, and yeah, since my mom died in 2010, I was terrible with money, and then I finally surrendered, asked for help from a friend slash financial now now my financial advisor. Originally, I met him through another friend of mine. He came on board as my financial advisor, and he's literally helped me get back to the point where I want to be. So I think that if people gamble with money, they need to ask for help. And what I want to say about that is it's okay to ask for help, you guys. It's okay to ask for help. It is okay to ask for help. I know you guys heard me, but I'm repeating myself. It's okay to ask for help. So that being said, Lisa, what is your client success story? For anonymity purposes, we don't have to say the name.
Yeah, there's one coming to mind that, like I said, not everybody that I work with struggles with money. I mean, this person was an inheritor and had a net worth of a lot more than most people would ever dream of having. And the story that she was dealing with that she didn't really understand until she came to work with me was that growing up in a home where her father was very successful and very powerful and enjoyed being in the spotlight, the challenge was is that she never got the chance to stand out on her own, even though she was a very accomplished psychiatrist. She had, gotten her PhD. She had a very strong success in her business. But at the end of the day, she wasn't feeling successful because it had never really been a choice growing up that she would be the center of attention. And as you know, when we start businesses, it's not oops,
That's
it's
true.
it's
That's true. Go ahead.
okay. It's not easy to, be successful if we're really afraid of being in the spotlight, and we worked on helping her to understand where some of these blocks had come from that kept her feeling small, feeling like she couldn't do things all by herself, and as we worked through that, she began to make some big changes in her business where she was stepping into it. She was going after what she wanted to go after. She felt more confident about who she was. She recognized how hard she had worked to become this incredibly fascinating, powerful, helpful person to her clients. And when she started to really own that, that was when things changed in her business.
Oh, that's amazing because um, when you own your power, things will change. And when people try and take away your power, it's not good. It's not good. I mean, I was in that position last year, and it just broke me to the ground. I mean, I lost my I lost my mom in 2010. Then I lost my dad in 2019. Then I got emotionally abused and physically abused. And then my family tried to not t- they tried to take away my power, and they tried because I got emotionally and physically abused. I was shutting the door on my family, and they tried to take away my power and ship me to a group home in Kentucky, of all places. And now that my family, and this just happened the other day, you guys, my family has decided to help me with something, but they have decided to help me to extent they can and give me my power back. And I'm super grateful. So I said to them, look, I'll do this as long as I have the power and the autonomy to decide where I want to go. Because when a person goes squish win into a box, the creative side of me goes, help me, help me, help me, help me get out of this box.
Mhm. Yes.
So yeah, the creative side of me goes, no, I don't want anything to do with box, and I need to shoo you guys away for a couple minutes, for a couple years, and then we'll come back when you're ready to help me to an extent that you can. So that's what they're doing now, and I am grateful for it. But having those people squish you in that box, yeesh, doesn't work at all.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. And, at the end of the day, I think what you're talking about is that you came to the realization that you couldn't depend on other people to give you your power, that you had to find it for yourself.
Yes, and then ask for help. And because I got emotionally and physically abused, I was scared of my abusers in my own family, even though I haven't seen them for a year. They all know what happened. And so um And so I think when I was emotionally and physically abused, my talking to my other family members who have contact um, with my abuser just to set off a chain reaction. Now that I know that the abuser is out of the picture completely, now that I have healed myself through counseling and through talking about it publicly, I am a little bit more receptive of my family, and forgave them the other day, you guys. So we're back on good terms, and they're going to help me out with the rest of my life. And that's why I needed to forgive them. But when they originally took away my power and said, "You need to go over here. You need to go over here, like now." And I had nothing to do with it. Then I got the help me, help me, help me. I'm scared. I don't want to be in this box.
Mm, yeah. And you're right. Being able to ask for help is actually a sign of power. Many times we think that it's a coming from a place of being a victim, but that's not true.
No,
Asking for help is a very powerful position.
asking for help is a very powerful position. And even though I have a disability, I certainly don't want to be squished over my own power. So, Lisa, what is your icky client story that you have worked with someone that you thought, okay, I can't help this person. They're too much of a ER, so to speak. They're too much of a negative person. I can't help this person with their money issues.
So that's a great question. It's interesting because I definitely don't think about this very often. I will say that it's actually not that unusual that when I work with people at first, there's a lot of challenges that come up, and the story that oftentimes my clients are so attached to about their lives and the fact that they can't create what they want, it's so strong that I never know if it's gonna be something that I can hold space for them and have it turn the corner, or is it gonna be something that they are so attached to no matter what, they're not gonna let it go,
Yeah,
and so, I'm just thinking of a lot of different clients over the years. I wanna be clear that my work, it takes time because it goes so deep into somebody's experiences, past experiences, and it isn't an overnight success story, but yet people are very attracted to the idea that maybe, just in a couple months, everything will be different. And so I think that I know the fact that it takes a while and I'm comfortable with it. And I think when people get to those places that you're describing where it's like, and I'm sitting there too thinking, gosh, I don't know if this is going to work. The
yeah,
thing that I do is I just point it out. I say, hey, this isn't working. I'm using the tools that I've used in the past, and there's not much happening here. And, you know, I need to bring that to your attention because for me, it's kind of this very healed state to even say, I don't know if I can help you. I don't know if this is going to work. And I'll tell you when, every time I reach that place of just, vulnerability and honesty and compassion for a person who's really struggling with making a change. And I just say, I don't know if this is going to go. Every single time it has led to some kind of breakthrough for that person. Not because I did anything, but I gave them back all their responsibility, all their power by saying, I don't know if I can help. And then they end up making a choice on their own. And it's really, really important when we do this kind of work that it isn't the coach who's doing the work, it's the person
yes.
doing the work.
Yes, the individual doing the work. And so it is really, interesting you say that. It is really, interesting that it needs to be the person doing the work with the coach or the counselor or whoever it may be. And so, I I want to ask you, what is your favorite book?
The book, I read so much. I've read thousands and thousands of books. So I just trust whatever pops into my head when people ask me questions. And the book that came was The Goal by Elihu Goldblatt. I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right, but he co-wrote, because it's not just his work, but he wrote this beautiful book called The Goal. Over 11, 12 million copies have been sold, just to give you an idea that I'm not alone on this book. But it's a business book that is written in the way of a fiction based story, but it's teaching you about the concept of um, production, which is really funny because I am not a production person. I don't work on the Toyota assembly line, but the book inspires people deeply about where are bottlenecks in your business, where are you getting stuck and not moving through them. That's one of the many teachings. And it's just a beautiful experience to read it.
Well, good. And what if your BFF had to write a book about you, what would the title be?
Don't underestimate her.
Don't underestimate it, I love it. So, what is your morning routine?
I get up and I have trained myself to stay in bed and meditate because I'm such an ADD person, even as a meditator. If I get out of bed, I can get distracted very easily. So if I can stay in bed and do my meditation practice and take myself through what I teach other people, which is going through your chakras and balancing them, I do that every morning. I spend time in quiet silence, and then I also rehearse my day. I work on the best stuff before I finish the meditation of like, what is the most important thing today that I want to pay attention to? It might be an email to my community. It may be something for my clients. It may be something for my family. It may be all of those, but I rehearse them in my mind. I see what wants to come through from the divine that guides me for the day. And then I go and, maybe get a cup of coffee, do some yoga, and then I begin writing. And writing is an early morning thing for me. So I like to get up when possible at around 4 a.m. 4:30 is late. And by 6 a.m., I have already pretty much accomplished the main primary, you know, things that I want to do from a strategic vision standpoint, if you put it that way. And the rest of the day is being in service, whether it's an interview or working with my clients, a group coaching call, checking in with my family, going on a walk, that sort of thing.
And so, as we wrap this interview up, do you have any questions for me?
Yes, I'm really fascinated by your journey, your podcasting. I would love it if you could share a few of the things that you've learned in interviewing people that have really touched your life, and even
I
just one.
well, there's a couple. I've learned that we can all relate to one another's stories. I've learned that a ton of people, surprise, surprise, they may not tell me this on mic, but as soon as we hang up the mic, they come out to me and tell me my sister had cerebral palsy, my brother had cerebral palsy, my dad died. My dad got diagnosed with lung cancer. My mom had viral meningitis. So people relate to my story, and it's like cancer comes out of the woodwork as soon as I hang up the mic because turn it off because they don't want to tell me on publicly, but my fan base knows my story. My mom died of viral meningitis. My dad died of lung cancer slash organ failure. And I find that amazing. And through my network, I've been able to do amazing and wonderful things. And what what taught me the interviewing skill has taught me how to be a more patient listener and a better human.
That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. It sounds like it's really touched your life to be able to do this. What made you start it in the first place?
I wrote a book. That book is 10 years old, and that book is available on Amazon. The title is I Come a Win. And I thought, okay, now that I hit the publishing button on that book, I need to market the book, not to let it collect Amazon shelf dust. And so I decided to um, write do a podcast, but in the way I decided to do it, um, is interview people that were above me, interview people that were at my level, such as disabilities, and teach people about disabilities, whether it's a caregiver or a family member who has a disabled person in their lives. I want to not only raise awareness for cerebral palsy, my own disability, but I want to raise awareness for other disabilities like fibromyalgia, like being blind, like being quadriplegic, like every which way. The list goes on and on. And um, I'm I'm actually on the quest to get diagnosed with asthma, which is coming up here soon, and we're going to see how that results, and then we're going to make the move accordingly. But my mother had asthma, and my grandfather died of asthma in the 60s, and my family has asthma, so I am 99% sure that I have asthma.
Mm, yeah. Wow. Well, it's such a beautiful thing to witness you just breaking stereotypes and paving your path and writing these books and being a champion of folks that may not have the same, passion that you do to create. It's just beautiful.
Well, I appreciate it, and if I didn't have my community, I wouldn't be doing half the work that I do. And so, where can people find you, and where can people get a hold of you, and where can people see your services?
Thank you. So I also have a podcast, a couple of them, The Art of Abundance, and then the new one is Mindful Millionaire. But if you go to wealthclinic.com and you actually do /gift, there's an opportunity to get a collection of resources. The chakra meditation that I do every morning, the first chapter of my book, The Mindful Millionaire, and some other goodies. So if anyone wants to kind of dive in and learn more about what I do, that's a great way. And wealthclinic.com has a lot of the blogs and the different things that I do. Yeah,
And
it's
I'm in the middle of listening to Lisa's podcast to you guys. In the middle, I had to stop it and I had to pick it back up again. But geez, you're a prolific podcaster yourself. So please, 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 please go subscribe to Lisa's podcast and please leave a 5-star review in Apple Podcast and please leave a 5-star review on Ask Win and let's make everyone happy in Apple Podcast because if you do that, all that does is make the Apple Podcast algorithm happy and makes it eyeballs see it, so that the adults need to listen to it. And so please, 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 and money is not a taboo subject. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to reach out to a financial advisor. I think that's what we should all do in 2021 is get our finances together so we can manifest big things in 2021 and drop the um, misconception that I'm poor, I can't do this, but let's make 2021 the strongest year yet, you guys, as we rise above the ashes of 2019 and 2020 put together. Thanks, you guys. Bye, you guys.